It might be goodbye to Josh, and it might be...
Maybe I always think everyone don't give a fuck. But he just looked at me like I'm insane. Said he never met somebody else that feels the same. Hello, I don't know what day of Camp NaNoWriMo it is, but it's a Sunday. I've been following the routine of writing every single morning. Hold on, let me just close my window. And that's been working out really well. I really like doing that because in the mornings I usually don't do much anyway. I basically just sit downstairs with my coffee and my breakfast and listen to a podcast, but this time I've been just kind of writing while listening to my podcast. Anyway, I got home from the gym and I actually went to the bookstore and I bought myself The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Anyway, I was planning on doing more writing as soon as I got home, but I think I want to just sit down and read. I have my coffee here with me. I have a brioche and a banana because I'm starving, and I think I'm just gonna sit down and read The Unexpected Everything, or I could actually sit down and finish every last word because I really need to finish this. Okay, so I have read 50 pages of The Unexpected Everything, and honestly I didn't know anything about the plot going into this. I only knew that Morgan Matson is well loved, especially on BookTube, and I wanted to try her out. To be completely honest, I'm not sure she's selling me on her writing style at the moment. I'm only 50 pages in, so I'm only 2 chapters in, but the first chapter felt like it dragged on so much more than it needed to. I felt like there was so much world building and so much like info dumps and inner monologues that happen in the first chapter, and it's a contemporary book. I don't need too much detail, and I don't know if that's just like the underwriter in me that like feels like this first chapter is definitely overwritten, but I'm not into it. The other thing that I'm not into is the level of cheesiness in this book. Here's the thing, if you've seen my book tastes in the past, you know that I love cheesiness. I love romantic comedy movies, I love contemporary romances of all kinds. My favorite contemporary romance writer is Casey West, and she is the queen of tropes and cheesiness, but the thing that she does in her books and the things that I love about the contemporary romance books that I've read in the past that I'm not seeing in this book is the self-awareness, if that makes sense. Like certain dialogues that happen in this and certain character relationships that I see forming feel very two-dimensional. The characters still feel like they're cartoons, and I'm not sure if that's just because I'm only 2 chapters in and it'll probably get better. I hope the character gets fleshed out because this is like a 500-page contemporary book. The only thing that I am looking forward to reading about in this book is the strained relationship between the main character and her father. So that like family dynamic, I love family storylines, so hopefully we'll get to see more of that in this. But yeah, everything else I'm not sold on it so far. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move on to Every Last Word, and I'm gonna like actually finish this book because I need to. I think I lost my page because I don't know where my pen went, but I'm gonna finish this tonight, and then I don't know, I might watch an episode of Anne with an E because I'm in love with that show at the moment. Good evening. I just got home from sorting out some things at the university, and then I hung out with my friend, and then I was at the mall. I've been out all day, despite the fact that I woke up super early this morning to do a book photo shoot. Just having a little photo shoot at 7 in the morning with my book. Casual. I haven't gotten any writing done today, but I did finish reading Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone last night, and I will talk about it with you as soon as I get out of these clothes and take a shower and eat because I'm starving. Okay, I have showered, I've eaten, and I'm also in serious need of a haircut, or at least some new hair products, because I washed my hair this morning and now it's like dead. But I finished reading every last word last night and I really enjoyed myself. The weaknesses, I would say, is that there is this slight underlying message of makeup equals bad and no makeup equals good. It's not all that prevalent or anything like that, but it was there and I did see it and I did get a little bit irked by it. The second thing that I would say is a weakness would be the fact that the main character's faults and the bad things that the main character regrets weren't all that dire in my opinion. But then again, I see a lot of that in young adult contemporary books where the main character is made to have made mistakes as well, but the mistakes aren't as bad as they could be. So that kind of is a weakness. I wanted the author to kind of go there with the main character and just get a little bit darker, but obviously that's not really the book. The strong point that I would say about this book is that the romance never turns into the whole book. A lot of contemporary books that I read disguises itself as a mental health book or a book about a certain issue, but then it turns into a contemporary romance. This, I felt like, never went there. There is a love interest, there is a love story and a romance in here, but it never took the attention away from her own discovery and her own coming of age story and her own journey dealing with accepting herself. So it's been a couple of days and I thought I would do a little bit of an update. It's week 3, so naturally, if you've seen all of my other Camp NaNoWrimo vlogs, this is the part where I get a little bit of self-doubt. This time around, however, I've managed to catch it really early on, and I'm working towards kind of like forcing myself to power through it, because here's the thing, I'm already self-doubting everything else in my life, so for me to kind of look at my own writing and feel the same way I feel about everything else is not good for me, because that'll mean that I won't be looking forward to anything. Which I'd like to say that it's probably not as dramatic as I'm making it sound, but at the moment I'm feeling it very dramatically. So yeah, I think I watched Kate Kavanagh's video recently, and what's funny is the day before that I got a similar experience that she talked about in her video. So basically she was talking about how she was listening to a podcast that V.E. Schwab was in, and she just really needed to hear a writing advice that she knew all along. She just needed to kind of hear it again, and I had that similar experience with the advice of write what you know, which seems like such a generalized advice, and I never really thought anything of it, but up until recently, this is where the self-doubt comes in. I was like, well, I don't know anything, so maybe I shouldn't write. And I felt like the things that I wanted to write about, I was like, well, I can't write about those things because I haven't experienced them. And I watched a bunch of TED Talks, and it's not about the actual experiences, it's about the feeling. So yeah. The other thing that happened in the last couple of days that I haven't updated you on is that I got like a shiny new idea, and I really wanted to write it down, so I spent an afternoon writing down just, you know, this whole spiel about my new idea and the characters in it and all that stuff, and I think I've gotten it all out of my system, and now I can go back to my actual work in progress, so that's pretty good. Yeah, what else do I have to update? Oh, I have a book update actually, hold on. So I have read more of The Unexpected Everything, and I think I understand a little bit of why the writing style is the way it is, because it kind of mimics the way the main character thinks, And although I see that, I'm still not happy with it, because there are certain instances where I feel like that's not coming from the main character, that's coming from the author, and I don't like that. I'm still gonna power through it, because I think if anything this might just be like a 3 out of 5 star read. I'm learning a lot about like pacing and like plot structure and plot signposts and all that stuff, because I've been having a lot of problems with my own plot structure. There's this little thing that I wanted to put in my story, but then I felt like, because the John Truby method is kind of forcing you to break down the plot, I think I need to do that. I think I need to break it down to its trope so that I can like build it up and like change it and all that stuff the way I want it to. But I'm having a lot of trouble with this one particular instance that I want to put in my story, because if I change that, then I have to change kind of the whole dynamic of the characters, and I don't know which one I prefer, so I'm struggling with that a little bit. But yeah, that is probably the update that I have for right now. Also, I think I really need to clean my room. I haven't filmed for a couple of days. What else is new? I just got back from hanging out with some family friends that have come to where I live from Adelaide, and that was really nice. I didn't really want to film too much just because I wanted to hang out with them. Also, update, I cut my hair this morning. The best thing about it is I didn't have to pay for it because my mum helped me. And I really like it. For the past, like, I don't know, since like the start of the year or whatever, I've hated my hair. Because when I got back from Europe, it was like really dead and it was long and it was falling out and all of that stuff. And then I got it cut, but they didn't cut it right, and so it was in that like mid-length awkward stage. And here's the thing about me, I either like my hair short or I like it really, really long. I don't like it that middle stage thing. This is still long for my liking, but it's fine. I like it. Anyway, what I didn't mention in the last clip, I think that I filmed a couple of days ago, is that the problem that I'm having with outlining my story at the moment is that I feel like I'm not giving my characters higher stakes. I feel like I'm being too lenient on them. I'm not torturing them enough, if that makes sense. So I really need to work out some way to make the problems a lot more dire, I guess, for my characters, because at the moment I'm just like looking at my outline and just feeling like I don't torture my characters enough. And I need to do that. So that's my plan for tonight. Oh, another bit of update. I stopped reading, what's it called? The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, just because it was annoying me. I will, you know, keep it on my shelf and go back to it whenever I'm writing, because I am learning quite a bit of, like, writing structure and, like, pacing and all that stuff from that book, even though I'm not enjoying it very much as a story. So I'm gonna keep it around. But I started reading The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, and this gripped me from the very, very beginning. I got this book from my brother and his girlfriend for my birthday, and again, it was one of those books where I felt like I needed to be in the right mindset or whatever, but I decided to pick it up and I'm hooked. I love magic realism. I think this might be the first... I don't know, because I read Tiger Lily, and although it's not marketed as magic realism, I always felt like Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson was magic realism. If you want to like discuss that with me, let me know down below if you think that it is, or if you think that it's just straight up fantasy, because I think it's one of those things where it kind of falls in between. Anyway, this story is super depressing, but I think it's what I need. Like, I love the way it's written, but also I think I kind of regret reading it right now while I'm writing my own story, because I'm always looking at this and like just being sad because I can't write as beautiful as her.
One clip in the commercial where he like adjusts her like plaid hat, and I was like, that's cute. Like, I'm gonna watch it. And then I started watching it, and I dropped off somewhere. I like got bored when Jess came in, and I was like, I'm not gonna keep. Yeah, I just know that I stopped watching it then, but then I came back when like Logan came. Are you Team Logan? I'm super Team Logan from memory. Thank God. Yeah, I